Hey, Basket Brains, Kirby here, aka Darkwing Disc, and I can build a snowman out of rain. Alongside me is Ollie DePina, and Ollie doesn't do push ups, he does earth downs. And this is episode 43 of the KO Disc Golf Show. Episode 43 is the oddest episode. Famous players that wear the number 43, the most famous of all, I personally think, Dennis Eckersley. He did play for the Red Sox, other Red Sox that wore that number. Alan Embry, and most recently, Sedane Rafaela. Mariners to wear the number 43 most recently. We always appreciate another Kirby here, so Kirby Sneed. Brandon League also wore 43, and so did Miguel Bautista. For the Sabres, it was Martin Baron, who was one of the players I remember watching back when I was very, very into hockey back in like the early 2000s. And Ollie, you want to hit us with the Kraken and the Giants?
Yes, sir. For the Kraken, we got Morgan Geeky. Think I said that right? Where's number 43 for the Kraken? And then for the Giants, we got a few notable players. The most notable being Spider Lockhart from 1965 to 1975. And then we also had, and he played defensive back, and then we also had Terry Kennard from 83 to 89. So we got a few like very accoladed Giants, I'd say, as our number 43. And then also a quick shout out to maybe my number 143 of all time. You'll know him from the Head and Shoulders commercials, Troy Polamalu. Definitely got to shout out to him. He's like one of the best safeties of all time. When I was like growing up watching football and really getting into it, he was like the most dominant, like hard hitter. And then like the hair was just so crazy. Like I thought it was the coolest thing ever. So very iconic. Yeah.
I remember those commercials. Did you say the guy's first name was Spider?
Spider Lockhart. Yep.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Spider Lockhart. Like I don't think it. I the '60s names were just better, bro. Like I go back and like I'm looking at some of these names and it's like they just hit a little harder. You know, I feel like the name was so. I don't know. Your name was your name. You know.
That's so good.
Still
so
is.
like Ellie and I, we're probably gonna end up adopting like a baby. And I'm gonna pitch Spider as like the name because it's kind of sick. It's very memorable. Like
Spider Snyder.
Yeah, so I think Spider Chop because her last
Chop.
Dude, that goes hard. And like I don't know, like you meet somebody named Spider, you don't forget that person, right? Like that is an impact moment in your life that you can't just walk away from. So I'm down for it, dude. That's awesome.
That's sick. I like the idea. I feel like you got it. I feel like there's a lot of like I don't know. There's a couple ways you go with names, and I feel like having a unique and cool name is like definitely the way you want to go. Or like I don't know. I'm a fan. I'm
gonna pitch it. I feel like Ellie's gonna hate that idea, and she'll probably comment under this video about how much she hates it. But I'm gonna pitch it.
Hey, at 100 likes, we'll name Kirby's firstborn child. How many likes to name the kid?
You know what? I can't promise that, but go for it. We'll see. Let's get to 100 likes, and I'll pitch the idea even harder, right? Be like, honey, it got 100 likes. What do you want from me?
Ollie said.
Yeah, Ollie said. I don't know. That's great. I can just, you'll be getting a phone call from her with later. So that's cool. How you doing, man? How's everything going?
Man, I am good. Before I get into anything with that, I've been streaming on Twitch, so I'm going to drop the link to the Twitch. If you haven't followed, I open Pokemon packs. I've been doing it kind of late, but I'm going to be trying to get some earlier night streams in. The last ones yesterday I had to do it at like 11:30, but still like getting a decent amount of people hopping on and stuff, so I appreciate everything with that. But opening up Pokemon packs, playing a little Pokemon. If you go on there, I uploaded some of the old VODs from like 3 years ago of me playing some like live disc golf. So there's some funny like disc golf, like I just like kind of took the camera around and stuff like that. So some cool VODs on there, and definitely gonna start streaming my disc golf more. But I'll drop the link below in the description, so show some love there for sure. But this week has been good. I had a team golf event at Fairgrounds on Saturday. I played pretty badly the first round, but I think as like I get better, it's like obviously something's off with my throwing. There's like a timing issue. There was something going on. Like I wasn't executing how I need to. And so I just was playing bad, and it was kind of like, how long is this gonna last, or what do I need to do to get out of this funk? I was definitely getting a little hard on myself, especially like the first 3 holes. But then I was like, what am I doing? Like, you got to like let that go and stuff. And the round didn't end up being that great. It got better towards the end, but I just remember threw in the field during the break, and I was like, that second round, I was like, I'm coming. Like it was like I'm gonna be
Yeah.
playing hard and stuff. So it warmed up for sure a little bit in that second round and played a lot harder. In the first round, I got to meet Sean Barrett,
Yeah.
and really really cool guy. Like I
Yeah.
honestly, I learned a lot from him, and like I was just like chatting with him, enjoyed the round a lot in the first round. Like it was, even though I didn't play well, like I'm learning to enjoy rounds, which I think is like a huge plus. Like I think it's gonna improve my overall tournament rounds when, like, I'm not gonna do back to back bad rounds. I'll be able to shake it off, do stuff like that, or like I'm gonna be able to just like get out of the funk earlier with even in that own round. So I'm definitely happy with that. And then I'm happy with how I played the second round for sure. Like really just got into my bag and like got confident with it. Like disc down, throwing a lot of my mids, throwing like my lightweight alpaca, and just like getting it up on a hyzer flip, getting it flat, and having it turn, or like having it just like push straight. Where I'm not getting to the circle, but I'm getting a putt, a 35-footer, where I'm like, that's what I want. And so
Yeah.
as long as I'm giving myself an opportunity to get that putt, I'm feeling more confident in my game. And the more birdie putts I get, I feel like this drive's feeling better, that's feeling better. So had a big learning moment. Big learning round and had a lot of fun there. Um, Costco's been chilling. Kind of started a new roll up, which has been kind of interesting. You're like a little more sales job where you're like talking to people. You're like, hey, like, do you want to upgrade to the executive membership? Do you have auto
Oh,
renewal on? That kind of thing. Where I'm going up
gotta
and talking to people.
gotta flash them those baby blues. Yeah.
But I'm like, it's definitely like a little out of my comfort zone. Like,
hmm
like these, I understand like people are like shopping and like the checkout can be like almost the most stressful part of it sometimes, where it's like you're done shopping, you want to get out, and it's just like the last barricade kind of. So like I already know that feeling, and then you're like kind of going up to them and be like, hey, one more thing to add on to that.
Yeah.
It's like I already understand that. So there's definitely some like it, you're gonna get a lot of no's in a way.
Yeah.
Also, people
Uh,
have already upgraded and stuff like that.
Yeah. You got people that are like, dude, I got ice cream in my cart. Get out of my, I gotta get home. So
So
yeah.
yeah, it's understandable, dude. I'm not like gonna be like this is the biggest deal in the world, and it's kind of like cool in a sense of like you're not picking and choosing who you go to because you're trying to talk to a lot everyone basically, but um once you kind of get that no, you don't have to help. Like, you kind of get that no, you're like, oh, have a good rest of your day. You just go to the next person. It's really like
Mm.
not that big of a deal. And you don't need to be pressing it, especially once you kind of get the vibes. It's like, it's just really just reading the vibes, I feel like. And I've got a couple of people to sign up and come talk and stuff, but that was just like, like they obviously had the time. And like, I think there's a free cooler you get if you turn on your auto renewal on. So, I'm like, hey, we got a free cooler. You just got to put your card info in.
Is it a nice cooler?
It's a cool cooler. It's a cool
Yeah.
cooler.
Is it
It's
like a
it's a
Yeti
little
or something?
No, it's a little small, but it's a Costco cooler. So it has
Okay.
like it's cool. It has like the Kirkland signature and the Costco branding on it. It kind of reminds me of like the smaller disc golf bags in a way, like the side bags, like
Oh
that
yeah. Is it like
size.
one of the ones with like the shifting top? Like it's like plastic.
No, it's like a fold bag and kind of things like
Okay.
that. It actually folds up
Yeah. Yeah.
into a littler bag, which I think is cool too. But
Okay.
I was like, you could probably put like 3 or 4 discs in there, and like I was
Is
like,
is immediately like this in terms of disc golf discs, and the person like, what is disc golf?
I was like, easily 4 discs, you could play any round, anywhere.
Yeah.
But I was like, that was basically my thought with that. And but it's been cool. It's a little with the colder weather, it's been kind of nice to like stay inside a little more and do that. And but I'm just chugging along doing that. My best friend is jumping in the car in 2 days and driving up here, so he'll be back on February 1st. So that's like uber exciting for me. So
Cool.
that's always just really cool having some like friendly faces. This has been like one of my best friends like since elementary school. So cool to have him back. His girlfriend's moving back, who me and Roxy are friends with. We went to Montana. We can go back on the show whenever I went to Montana. It's so cool to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But went to Montana with him, and like, yeah, he's just my closest person by far, and as a friend.
Sweet. That's awesome.
How are you
Good.
doing, Curb?
I'm doing good, man. At the shop a lot this week. Brian's in Thailand right now. He's playing in the Samui Swine Terry Miller's tournament out there. So seems like he's having a good time. I've been trying not to, not to bug him, just kind of let him enjoy his stuff out there. But we've kind of shot a couple emails back and forth. So good for him. I'm happy he's having a good time out there. I'm gonna have to check in and see how he shot. I haven't looked yet. Besides that, yeah, just kind of chilling at the shop. Cold, like it's been so cold this week. So trying to get out and like play a handful of times. Like I got out with my buddy Aaron yesterday. I've been posting a lot of like safari kind of holes at SeaTac, which has brought up like a lot of conversation about them, which is awesome because that's like the whole point of like me posting those is I want people to talk about them. I want
Yeah.
people to kind of bring in some like alternative ideas, and we're gonna do a tournament later in the year where we're gonna do like an almost all par 4 layout. So I like that people are kind of getting like a little taste of it, kind of like, hey, like this is what this is going to look like, in a few months from now, kind of thing. Like, don't be surprised. And some people brought up some good stuff, like Rad Roberts, especially. I've been chatting with him a lot, where I really haven't talked with him much in the past. And he and I have been talking a lot about, like hole 8 to 9. He's like, you might want to watch out for that Mando, like if you want to keep people left. And we're kind of like he's talking about it in a very like strategic way, where I was like, hey, like this is great, and people are like, what about doing this hole? What about doing that hole? And like, some of them are awesome, and the ones that aren't awesome are the ones that we can't use because they're like crossing a path or whatever. It's kind of just interesting, like seeing other people kind of chime in, be like, oh, what about this? Oh, you can't do this because of that, and it's cool. I think it's created a lot of conversation in the area. So it's been, I don't know, just kind of fun to see and just kind of fun to do personally. So it's fun to get out there and be like, hey, if I go to this corner to that corner of the park, a lot of it was inspired by that par 10 that you were telling me about at North Park. So a lot of it's kind of that, a lot of it's that, and the par 4 layout for the tournament kind of thing. So it's been fun to do though, just posting a bunch of those. So
Yeah, dude, I loved it. When I was watching those ones, it inspired me, and I hope it inspires other people to go. Kind of, I hope if you have your at your home course, like send in any cool safari shots that you know
yeah,
of. Like I will go out there and try to do them myself. But I was watching your videos and it inspired me. I was sitting on my phone and I made like Ollie's 9 at North Park basically, so we could go run that sometime. I think it
I love,
it sounds really really cool. All unique tee pads to baskets, and it's
yeah,
like a really really fun 9 where I'm like, this could be really cool.
yeah. I got one
Um,
that I'm gonna post tomorrow morning. Um, where I don't want to. I was out at North Bend and I created a hole that was like 1,550 feet. So I'm gonna post that tomorrow. It's pretty fun because I like North Bend is fun because there's so much airspace, so you can go like corner to corner there, and reasonably bite off a lot like per throw kind of thing, and you can break that course pretty good if you're willing to like push the pond and that kind of thing. So I have a few videos, out at North Bend that I'm gonna post, but it's been so freaking cold out there. It's hard to get out and play some of these mornings. Yeah.
It's tough. I'm really happy and blessed that I have just over here the little basket set up in my room with a towel, so like it's not too loud, and I can
Hmm.
putt at night when it's like freezing and like it's definitely not the same, but it's something, and I'm thankful
Yeah.
for that. I keep getting jealous of these people at these like indoor practice like soccer arenas. I'm like, I'm about to go hit up like the Sandpoint indoor soccer place and be like, let me get how much is an hour? Let me get an
Yeah. Just
hour and
chill
like bring my
right now.
basket, bro.
And they're like,
Like
"How many soccer players?" You're like, "One disc golfer."
one maybe two disc golfers. We're just gonna
Yeah,
be putting and throwing.
that's funny. Yeah, I do a lot of putting here in the shop, which is nice. But it's not the same as being like outside, like having like some wind out there and that. So like when I get
Just
home,
like my
what's that?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
just like my hands being cold was the bit like even putting this weekend like I couldn't putt with my alpacas. Like I was gripping weird. I have to figure out either a different putting stance in the winter. Like I it's just terrible. Like I have Raynouts in my hands and in my feet, so like when it gets super cold, like they turn white, and it's like impossible for me to really like get the blood flow going on them. So like putting was like really hard. And
yeah,
like so like I remember like 2 years ago I switched to XT Colts to putt with in the wintertime because they're so shallow and a little beat on them. They just
yeah.
like would fly out of my hand. I wouldn't even need to like do a movement. And that was what was happening. My alpacas would get caught, like I'd get caught grabbing them or like gripping
And
them
you're not.
really oddly. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mm,
Because I'm just trying to hold on to them in the first place, and then when I'm like going to release, it's like a delayed, late. Like it was so weird.
yeah. It's like your hands are all stiff. Yeah. Are you? I mean, I use like I have so many hand warmers now, like those electric hand warmers, and I got those going like full blast in both the pockets. My It's so stupid, but like my issues with that I have with the hand warmers is when I go down to putt, my disc will like hit one of the hand warmers in my pocket, and it'll like will like startle me almost, and I'll mess up my putt. And then I do it once, and I think I'm going to hit it every time. There's no like perfect solution. Honestly, the perfect solution is that it's just like not cold anymore. It's like we're coming up on spring pretty soon. Like get out of here. So
For spring, man.
yeah, I think it's supposed to get I think it's supposed to like rain towards the end of this week, and I saw like at one point it was projected to get down like into like the low 20s, which I am not here for. Like that is
That's gonna
not
be
that's
icy, icy, icy.
yeah.
I
I
live
think
on
that
Queen Anne, and that is like you can look up viral videos from the freeze on Queen Anne of just cars falling.
oh yeah, I lived at the top of the Queen Anne Hill during that freeze. That's when my wife and I first started dating. That was the buses that I would take would just drop us off at the bottom of the hill and go get out, we're done. And I'm like, damn. And like they're like, we're just turning around, like it's not worth it. There's people skiing like down the Queen Anne Hill and shit, dude.
Yep.
That was a bananas time. I'm still planning on going to California. There's people playing the course and stuff like that. So I'm gonna give it another like 3-4 days before I make my like absolute final decision. But as of right now, your boy's still going.
Yeah, it sounds
I'm really
good.
looking forward to it. So
It sounds like it's good to go in that sense of like I just had a buddy visit down there and my friends living down there and stuff like it definitely yeah, they're in a better yeah.
yeah, it's not great.
Not great. No, no, no.
Yeah, there's definitely extra planning that's gonna happen. Like I'm gonna bring like a ton of drinks and like a ton of like gallons of water and stuff like that, right? Just because I'm gonna plan on like I'm gonna go ahead and assume that I'm not gonna be able to find a lot of stuff, or if I want to go to a grocery store, I might have to drive like an hour, maybe more to go to the grocery store that's like fully stocked or something like that. So, um, before where I was like, whatever, if I forget something, I can just like run to a Walmart and pick it up. There's a little more sense of, don't forget anything. You might
Yeah.
not be able to just go somewhere quick and find something. So,
Yep.
I know my wife is going to have a good time with, she loves like planning and like, or, like that kind of thing. So when it's going to be like, hey, like we need to set up for this trip or I need to set up for this trip, like she'll get very into like, okay, we need garbage bags. We need, cleaning, like, and she'll have like,
The list, yep.
dude, she'll have a printout list if I, if I asked her to kind of
Roxy
thing.
has just writes the notes and stuff and like literally I'm
Mhm.
like, can you please send me like your packing list? I was like, I need an idea of what I even need. Like I'm literally like I'm so lost right now,
Yeah.
bro. As I like have like I just packed yeah, it's I need some help
Mhm.
sometimes packing for sure.
It's so funny because like Ellie will do the thing where she'll like spend a bunch of time like getting stuff ready, and it'll take her like all morning, if not start the night before, kind of thing. And I'll just like start just like throwing like socks and underwear in a bag, and I'm like, I probably need a couple pairs of pants, and I'm just like, this is good. And she's like, there's an internet video her and I send each other a lot where like the wife is like, what about shoes? And he's like, well, I'm wearing shoes. She's like, what if you get cold? Well, I'm wearing a button up. I'll just roll my sleeves down.
She'll always count out the days we're there and she'll count out how many of each clothes I have and she's like, are you gonna wear this twice? And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I can probably get 2-3
And then
wears.
she'll be like, really? And I'll be like, no. And I'll go
Yeah,
grab whatever.
yeah, that's funny. Um, yeah, no tournaments this past weekend here in Washington. Just some team golf stuff.
Oh, I got one. So the disc. So I did my first round with the alpacas over at Fairgrounds this weekend, and in the second round I used a new putter that the champ. We used the champ
Okay,
in the round. So we played the full round with the champ, and it was a lot easier to putt with in the cold with the bead. It was also warming up, so it was a little easier. But they're pretty nice putters. They're pretty nice
nice.
putters. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah. Do you want to talk a little bit about that Climo set?
Yeah. So I was using these two beautiful champ. They're called the champs. They're
Oh, those look
basically
great.
yeah, dude. They're awesome. I put them next to my old KC Pro ABRs, and it's literally like identical, which is kind of like awesome because I used to putt with
Hmm.
those, so it was a familiar feeling. I really was enjoying the bead here. Like it's a micro bead, but it's definitely still like a bead. Like you can definitely feel it. It's a prominent bead there still, but still being kind of small. Um, Throwing them, I was throwing them at fairgrounds as well. I was putting with this one, and then trying to like get an idea of throwing them. So like I was trying to throw with only this one, so I can kind of keep the putting the same here
Yeah.
and it has a real as being a 2300 out the box has a very very like stable and torque it's a torque resistant disc and I remember him hearing him talk about that where like on turnover lines it holds that and then will like kind of pan out, it have that like not overstability of a flight, but that torque resistance of like, it will get back to that neutral
Yeah.
flight point. um a little bit of anhyzer with like a little bit of power. I feel like it held that line and then just slowly faded out like to like very minimal degrees left and right, which was
Mm,
really awesome. I big fan of the champ. I can see myself throwing it and putting with it. So if
cool.
you're looking to try something new and support some disc golf history, you get a really cool little note that seems like from that's in the box and stuff like that. So I was
Yeah,
just happy to get that and support. And I that night I messaged Climo Discs and I was like, hey, I gave him a little like rundown, kind of like I'm doing now, and I was like, tell the champ, great job. And they're like, well, make sure we'll pass on the news. And I was like,
that's cool.
and this is the Bel Air. So this is kind of like a Rock X3 feeling, or like
Yeah,
a but a little less stable, a little more rock flight to it.
I've
Uh,
seen people compare this side by side to the Wasp, and it looks pretty similar, like side by side profile to like the Wasp, as far as like where the bead in that, or like all the edges are kind of contoured. So
yeah, definitely
wonder if you use
really
art.
interesting flight. I've never thrown a Wasp, so I'm not too familiar with the mold itself. But when comparing it to like the rocks that I throw, like I don't really throw the V Rock or the Rock X3. Like pretty like I just throw traditional or like old school KC Pro rocks.
Hmm.
But this disc, I put those away for the wintertime. Discs just break, and it's a disc that I really enjoy, so I'm not going to do it. I could see myself possibly cycling this one in for the wintertime, just like in the plastic. The plastic also feels amazing. That's one thing I'm a big fan of. I don't really, it doesn't feel like any Discraft plastic I've ever touched. Doesn't really
Hmm.
feel like Innova. It feels like a nice, like, kind of feels like a Pro Blend mixed with a Star, kind of. It's like a
Okay,
really nice, it's like
a little
pretty,
grippier.
yeah, a little grippier, and has a nice little like bend to it. You kind of
Okay,
hear it.
yeah, I will say
Um,
like, already like those like the Champ and that's the what's that one, the Bel Air.
the Bel Air, yep.
Yeah, I would say like those two, just like from the videos I've seen of people throwing them online and the early pictures I saw of the disc, and I was like, these don't look very good because like the colors and like I don't know if like it was just like the original like test run like plastic, well, whatever they did to it. It just I remember seeing the early ones and being like thinking to myself like I don't know that these look very good. The ones that you have, this plastic looks 10 times better than what I've
Dude,
seen in the
it
past.
looks it feels amazing and looks amazing and it flies amazing. That's another thing. Like, uh, it's a super basic mold. I can like I wasn't like, oh, I gotta go learn this. Like I threw it one time flat and was like, okay, I know how it flies. Like
Gotcha.
you
Yeah.
can put it flat and it will fly flat and then fade out really nicely. Like I think they advertise 5602 or something around that, but it
Mhm.
flies like that to me. Kind of flies like my Magnolia. I don't think it will take over my Magnolia spot. I just like that disc too much, but definitely fun. That's like the biggest thing. Like I said before, like I just like throwing discs and new discs, so it's always fun. And
Yeah.
then this one I was having the biggest trouble with the Skyway.
Yeah. It's kind
So
of
this,
understandable from what I've heard. Yeah.
yeah, and not like I just don't think, I don't know. I was having a hard time getting it. Like anytime I threw it with the nose angle correct, it was just kind of turning over. And then I'd like try to give it a little more nose angle up, so like to see if it would like help with the stability of it. And then I'm just kind of like, it was hard to control the disc for me in a way
Hmm.
where like if I'm having to do that much work with that, like it feels like I'm doing too much to just throw this disc. Didn't really need it for any of those lines either. I'm like, anywhere where I'm pushing, I'm like, I'd rather just throw a like the Bel Air and or like to throw anything else. Like I'd rather do that instead, and I know where it's gonna land and not be like, especially on a wooded course like fairgrounds. Like you want to be in the fairway rather than like in a bush.
Yeah.
Um, but I will keep throwing this one and playing around with it. I really like the rim size. It's a little small, so it's like pretty easy for me to grip. Like I can kind of like fan grip this one a little easier.
Okay.
Um, this feels uncomfortable and like there's like so much like I don't know, it feels really weird right on the like this
Inter-
side for like a power grip.
yeah.
But I could see myself like a little more controllable. Like maybe I'd take it down like 60%, 75%. But like I just don't get why I would do that with the driver, I guess,
Yeah.
necessarily. Like I just throw like an MB5 or like I like my mid-range lineup so much. But really enjoy it. The Climo discs, especially that Bel Air and the Champ. I I had a lot of fun throwing the Bel Air, and I kept just being like, I throw it and I'd be like, so that line actually back on Bel Air Street, me and Kenny, there's this line. If you stand on the corner right by the fire hydrant, you're going towards the street sign. And I was just doing some shit like that, trolling, and it was really, really fun. So I had a really good time throwing them.
Nice. That's
Um,
cool.
I definitely see myself. I don't know if I'm gonna make a. I don't think I'm switching. There's a chance that I was gonna switch maybe to putting with these for a little bit, but it's like I love my alpacas. I think I just spin a little more during the winter and a
Hmm.
little less of a put because I push so much and it's like a bad habit that I have, but it helps them. I don't think it's a bad habit, but it's just a habit I have where I think if I can get to a more consistent spin and doing and then like even when it comes time to like do a little more of a push putt, like still keeping that spin will just only improve my game. So
Yeah, no, I've always been more of a proponent or more of a fan. I don't know if that's the right word. I've always just been more of a fan of spin putting. Like kind of make the joke where it's like, hey, you've never seen like a spin putter on like a really calm day being like, ooh, we're gonna work on this push putt. But on a really windy day, you see push putters being like, I gotta practice spin putting and figure this out before the round. So it's like, why not just have the spin already be there, and then on a windy day, you're just doing your thing. You're just adjusting for the wind. So
because I think it's a dumb thought, but I my arms are long, so I get closer to the
I kind of get that.
best.
I okay.
It's like it's literally it has to be a placebo. Like
Yeah,
I don't even sometimes I don't even mark my disc because I don't believe in like the I should just hit the putt. That's I don't want to I
yeah,
like sometimes I'm like just step up and hit the putt, dude. Like you don't
yeah,
need to mark it. You're close enough. Like stuff like that or like where I'm like but then I'm like but my arm is further.
yeah. I mean, it, further arm plus spin equals even more made
So
putts.
that's what I'm saying. Maybe we
Right?
just do
Like,
the spin putt arc and then we'll be good for the
yeah,
winter.
dude, just combo. It's like you'll be unstoppable at that point. Um, there was some disc golf news this week. We'll get to the two minor ones, and then we'll hit on the big one that just dropped this morning. So Nathan Queen to Infinite. Ollie, I think I told you this in our group or a little chat the other day that it just seems like such like a natural, easy move. He seems like such like an infinite guy. And if you're Nathan Queen, yeah, it's like the easiest transition where you're like, I have to put in couple of molds today, right? And then besides that, it can be a very slow
He
transition.
could
Like,
he could always throw his tour series disc from Innova and never have to
mhm.
take that out of the bag, which is like, or like you have that favorite disc, you never have to take that out.
Yeah, yeah. If he has one whatever, like a wraith or something like that, yeah, that he's just like he feels so connected with. Like you don't have to lose that at any point. Like you just have to fill in the edges
Yep.
elsewhere and let everything kind of work itself in. So it's pretty cool. Jake Hebenheimer is to Prodigy, which is also pretty cool. Good for him. I like that Prodigy's doing stuff again. I don't think any of these guys are really gonna they're not saving the company in any way, shape, or form. I don't think, but again, Prodigy doing anything. We need more companies, in disc golf being major players. So good on ya. I hope it all works out, kind of thing. So
Yeah, I think he's like, I think this last year he got a lot more people to know his name, which is cool. And I think he has all the capabilities, like throwing, like physical, like throwing wise, but he just is, there's certain parts of his game where he just laps. And
he's not on the same tier as some of those other guys.
when he
He's
plays,
great, but
sometimes though he can play so like some of the shots I've seen him execute are just like top tier, where it's like
mhm.
okay, that's really cool to see. So the maybe I don't know. I would like to see him have a breakout at some point. Get a high placement at a good tournament or something like that would be cool this year. But definitely puts the pressure on that being like one of Prodigy's only guys. I feel like to be like,
Yeah,
hey, this is your time to pop off, break out now, kind of thing. Um, Also, before the big news, Silva Saarinen signed like a 4-year, 3-year extension to MVP, which I think is big. She's just one of my favorite FPO players, so I want to throw that out there.
yeah. Was Jake Hebenheimer the guy that did the horseshoe putt?
I don't think so.
Oh, I thought he was.
I just know Jake
I was like, that's
Hebenheimer
fun.
because Luke Humphreys likes him, and he would be on like way too many pro skins matches, and I was like,
Yeah,
bro, who are you? But
that's
then
fun.
he was like funny and like throwing some like really good shots, and I'm like, okay, this is cool. Like I
Yeah.
could see it. And then you see him. What tournament coverage was he on? He was on like one coverage, and I was like, it was things started looking put together, and I was like, okay, this
Mhm.
is cool.
Nice. Yeah, so to the big news that just dropped this morning, I'm sure everybody's heard about it by now. Ricky Wysocki and Dynamic Discs have parted ways. Pretty interesting. Something that was rumored to happen like 2 weeks ago, which is really, really crazy. So, bunch of stuff kind of coming out. Some of my favorite comments, that I saw earlier was, "Can I get a general for less than $30 now?" Thought that was pretty funny. A lot of people kind of speculating like, where's he going? I think the number one speculation I saw was Discraft and MVP. And I think that's just a product of that's just like the most recent two big companies he hasn't been at.
I,
Like,
I even saw disc. Someone was like saying something about Discmania, and I was like, we just throw in any name out there that he just hasn't played for.
yeah, I don't think Dismania makes like any sense whatsoever because like at that point, like why do this whole like departure? Why not just say like he's transitioning from Dynamic to Dismania? You know what I mean? Like it would be such an easier
Oh, with House of
PR.
Discs.
You know what I mean? Like it's such an easier like PR thing.
House of Discs.
I know, but no, like it doesn't make sense. Like, and what's he going to go back to Innova? That also kind of doesn't make sense. So MVP or Discraft. I've heard a bunch of rumors about him going to Discraft. That'd be fucking crazy. Like
Time to get the Ricky Wysocki Baobab. Welcome to AGL, buddy.
Yeah, there it is. No problem. It would be. I mean, it would like what.
That'd be
Like
kind of insane. That'd be so insane.
that would be crazy. I mean, like obviously, like we speculated, like he would go into Prodigy and he would do a lot for Prodigy. But like, what if he went to like a Gateway? Like real talk, he goes to
Yeah,
Gateway.
or like what?
He's throwing Baobabs throughout the year, and people are like, "Yo, what is this? Like, does he take AGL or does he take a Gateway and does he put them into like a top 7 company in
Yeah,
the game? You
yeah.
think so? Just him?
I think and we've had the argument about him selling discs and how that like failed you that. I mean, he's still sold, and I think maybe not at that like top tier level, but like he'll sell and like bring any company to that isn't where that is and like bring him up to that where like
Mm-hmm.
I could totally and then like oh I could totally see or like I'm trying to think of another company that'd be like
I
but
mean,
like
Loft,
yeah
like somebody who's
yeah
producing their own stuff, right? Like Clash. Like he can't go to Casaplast because Casaplast is, doing airs with House of Disc, right? So that wouldn't make sense. It's the same Discmania argument. Um, Thought Space Athletics, like that would be pretty freaking cool. I would be super, super down for that.
I feel like I wouldn't love that.
No?
No, I'd rather just have him straight up be on disc.
Yeah, I don't know. Some Thought Space Athletics, like dinosaur stamped, like their thing with some dinosaur stamps,
Yeah, for sure.
like a Synapse would be pretty cool. I think
I don't think I've ever thrown him. I
Synapse
think
is nice. It's like a really really straight destroyer right out of the box. It's not. It's almost a little too straight for like what you want it to be, but they're sick.
I could see. Yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be cool.
It'd be
But I
fun.
think at the end of the day, we'll be seeing probably like a disc graph. Maybe he'll be the first Climo player.
That would be kind of awesome.
That'd be so sick.
Yeah, yeah, and he's just throwing Discraft and Climo discs all the time, dude. That would be so
That'd be a
cool.
way to start the brand. But then you're like, oh damn, Ken Climo just had to pay the 200K that he got for his whole contract to get Ricky.
I mean, that's kind of where that issue
Bro,
goes.
that's the thing is like the whole brand is worth what Ricky wants to get paid.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, right now it's probably worth less than that because they haven't actually, like, they've only had one drop. You know what I mean? It's like, how much can your company be worth when you've only produced like a couple hundred, a couple thousand discs, like total in your entirety, kind of thing. That's woof. That's. I mean, that would be really exciting. I said it as like a joke, but like. I think I talked myself into like the Gateway Avenue. Like I fucking love that idea. Like, and
All
I
right,
can't
I'm
explain
I'm
that.
DMing Ricky. What can we
Yeah.
do?
Where you going, bud? Like,
Hey,
we
so
did,
I'm live right now, Ricky. Just needed to gotta go quick, buddy.
yeah. I'm gonna need you to get back to me real soon. So we'll check back in on that before the episode ends, just in case, because you never know. That's amazing. All right. So moving on, while Ollie kind of finishes up his message to Ricky. we'll do our NHL check-in. Two guys who don't know much about hockey talking about hockey.
Also, I think we need a if any, like, I don't know, we'll just have to make it ourselves, and it'll be like, it will sound pretty funny of us singing, but we got to do like a two guys, it got to be like a little
Like a
like
little
intro.
jingle.
Yeah, we got to get a little jingle for this segment because I like this segment. I think it has a great ring to it.
I'm having fun with it. It is kind of fun to jump into this thing, and as soon as I start looking into it, I go, "Ah, fuck, I don't know what I'm talking about here." So, that's been pretty good. So Sabres are on a little losing streak. I just had the schedule up. So, they lost the last like 3 games. I think they beat Vancouver like a week ago. Tough.
Oilers, right? Because the Oilers beat the Sabres, and then the Oilers beat the Kraken.
Yeah, we lost to the Oilers. Before that, we lost to Calgary. Before that, we beat Vancouver, and then before that, we lost to the Kraken. So, um,
Going back to the
they went Seattle, Vancouver, like 1-2, and it's just like, well, yeah, you're like an hour away. You might as well just play the next night. That makes a lot of sense.
The Kraken lost to the Capitals 3-0 after that Kraken Sabres game, and then we beat the Penguins 1-4, and then lost the Oilers 2-0, and then we play the Ducks tonight at 7. But so we did not win 10 straight, but honestly, when you're looking at those next 3 opponents, it was really tough. So to get out of there even with a win, I feel like is a dub. So like we play the Sharks, the Flames, the Red Wings, just like all like these are all like I think now stacking on another 3 wins I think is really possible. I remember talking about that last week that the schedule is looking a little rough for the next. I was like next time I do this update it's gonna be bad. I was like I think we're just losing.
We're facing the Sabres. The Sabres are facing the Boston Bruins tonight.
Yeah, don't talk about we, huh?
Yeah. I'm not on that ice. I'm not with those boys in that locker room. But we're going to get smoked tonight. The Bruins are at the top of the wild card. Sabres are just like, we're officially at the bottom of our division. And we have almost the fewest points right ahead of the Sharks and the Blackhawks.
Go Sharks.
Yeah. I'd like to see that. I don't know. We'll talk about that in a second. Sharks have got some cool jerseys. All right. Yeah, we'll get right into our draft, actually. So this week, one of the things, this was Ollie's idea. I thought this was a really good idea. We're going to be drafting jerseys. So first jersey draft is going to be NHL jerseys because it's currently NHL season. So yeah, we're going to kind of be doing these in between doing the letter draft, which we're like starting to wrap up the letter draft, dude. Like this is getting kind of crazy. Like we're coming up on that 1 year mark pretty quick, which is
That's
real
so cool.
Yeah, crazy.
I know. I put on my bio on Instagram, co-host KO Disc Golf Show.
Nice. All right, so for this draft, I'm gonna Ollie and I are gonna be texting each other the jerseys, and then he'll put them up, in here with his magical editing powers. I'm gonna take the number 1 overall pick. Ollie, you're gonna have number 2 and number 3. I have like a de facto number 1. This is what I think is the absolute coolest NHL jersey, and it is the Mighty Ducks jersey.
Which one? Okay.
Yeah, so this one, I love the color scheme. I like the whites. I think that looks good. I think that's the home jersey. That one reminds me of like the Mighty Ducks movies, like when I was a kid. And then few people, maybe people my age, will know that there was actually a Mighty Ducks, the animated television show that was, dude, it was freaking awesome.
Dude. Well, a lot of my older brother's big Inspire, and we would watch that. I remember we had like a VHS of it, and it was
there was a movie of it. Yeah, I forget your brother's a few years older. Your brother's closer to my age, so
6 years older than. Yeah, he's like 31, 32.
Okay, I'm still a few years old. I'm 34, so.
But I mean, closer, like 2 years apart is You're
like
still doing similar shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I've seen like a few things that my sister was into, but like shows that are like her generation, I don't have that much. I'm not that familiar with. But yeah, this is my favorite Ducks jersey. I think this jersey is just freaking awesome. Yeah,
my list for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's a good finding a 1 is really hard, I feel like, for me. Going back and doing some history, went and was looking, and I'm gonna go with my number one pick is gonna be a jersey that the Los Angeles Kings wore from 1967 to 1980, and then from 2010 to 2014. It's in the gold and
Whoa.
purple, and I think
Yeah,
it just looks super gorgeous.
I
You know, I
saw
think
that one.
when I see LA, I think of the Lakers, and I think of that colorway, and then I do. And this isn't saying anything because I do like the black and white Kings, like what they did with that. I think it looks really good.
Yeah.
It kind of differentiates them in LA for sure. But I also think like what's wrong with looking like the like I think it looks really
Uh,
good. So
no, those are cool. The crown on front maybe isn't my favorite like king logo, I guess, but I love the jersey scheme. I think it looks cool. There's very few other like bright purple hockey teams out there like that, so like it definitely stands out. I'm for it, dude. I think it looks cool.
I'm a big fan of it. And then we're gonna go with I guess not specifically this one, but I guess we will do because it was when I was watching the most. The Washington Capitals. I really like the uh,
Oh,
a little basic with the red, white, and blue and all that.
mhm.
But I mean, I'm a Giants fan. I like that the colorway that goes together. And I remember rooting for the Capitals in like that 2011, 2015 time. And yeah, I think the stars look really good. And it's always had some like swag on the ice. You know, I think it looks good. The white on the ice.
Yeah, no, that's a classic looking jersey for sure. Um, all right, so my next pick is going to be one that is very. This one's very sentimental to me. Some of my favorite, like when I think of my favorite Buffalo Sabres players, they're wearing this jersey, and it is the black, white, and red. I like both the home and the away jersey, but I think I like the blacks a little more. Um, this jersey was sick. Like, it's my favorite players. Dominic Hasek, when I think of him, he's wearing that jersey. Maxima Fennegenov, Vanek, Connolly. You know, just like I can think of like so many like linemen, you know, that wore this jersey. So one of my favorites.
Hell yeah. I like the
Then
black and the red looks so good. Like the red
yeah,
just
it's
pops so much.
so sick. And then I want to double up. All right, so this is one. When you said Kings, you had me a little nervous because I thought you actually took this one from me. This is one of my favorite Kings jerseys. This one's sick. The Gretzky jersey on the back, the '99. It does like really kind of make this a little for me. So I will say like the '99 specific Gretzky jersey because he is the GOAT. Like he is the best hockey player of all time. But the all black, like the silver, the white, I think this is a real like clean looking jersey. Like this is real fresh. Um, I don't think this is a jersey that like I would personally get for myself and wear, but if I see somebody wearing that, like I don't know, I'm probably like giving them a fist bump for being like, "Yo, dude, like sick jersey."
And you're not fist bumping the guy in the purple and gold one next to him.
I don't think I am honestly.
What?
I'm kind
Wait,
of
okay.
like, dude,
Nah,
I'm
okay,
like
you
just
can still fist bump him and not like the jersey, man. That's just rude.
nah. I'd be like, I'm gonna fist bump this guy, and you suck. No,
I ain't fist bumping him.
yeah, I ain't fist bumping shit. No, the purple's cool. I like the purple, but that black jersey I think is like really slick. I think that's really nice.
All right, all right. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. Going I also I'm a big fan of this one. Only wore it for a couple years, but the orange Anaheim Ducks jersey.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
I really like the orange on that. I'm just a big fan of that. It kind of gives me like old Bucks or like kind of like a retro-y like sports orange to me. Like I
Yeah,
really like it.
kind of a
Um
burnt orange too. It's not too
yeah.
bright, which is nice. Yeah,
Yeah, like I don't know, really cool coloring on that.
that's cool. I do like the that D logo that they kind of put on the sleeves there on the shoulders. I think that
Yeah.
logo is pretty cool, and the fact that they're paying homage to the old logo on the front, like that's a cool jersey. Yeah, that's cool.
They did a good job for those ones. 2015, 2017. So I only wore it for 3 years, but
Hmm.
they were bangers. And I think for my last pick, I'm torn between a couple. I think I do it because I'd probably wear it more than this one. Oh, all right, the honorable mentions, I'll have a few to shout out.
For sure.
But we're going to go with the San Jose Sharks, like the early 2000s jerseys they'd
Oh, dude,
wear.
that's on my list. That's
Dude,
like I only have like 6 pictures, and like that's one of them.
the
That's
white,
totally
the
one of them.
white outline on the number looks really clean to me. I thought it was like the time in the era when like sports jerseys were like a little in your face, like but
Yeah,
so cool in your face. Like I thought
yeah.
it was like the lines are a little aggressive, everything with the cuts there. I think the color's amazing. The gray,
Mhm.
the blue there, the teal. I oh that's yeah, exactly the same.
Yeah. No, I was like, dude, I know exactly the jersey. Like that. That's a good looking one, man, for sure.
I have a couple honorable mentions I'll mention after your last one, but
Cool.
let you go.
All right, my last one. I'm gonna double up on Sabres jerseys. The Sabres are my favorite
Yep.
team. This is another like really iconic one for me. Classic gold and blue. Classic logo in the middle. This is another one like when I think of my favorite players, I think of the black and red. But when I think of the Sabres logo, like this is the jersey that I think of them in. This
Yeah.
I like the all blue. I think is really sweet too. They had a couple of duds. Like one of their jerseys just looked like it had like it was like a buffalo head on a lightning bolt, and it kind of just looked like a slug, and like it was not cool. I think they only wore it for like a year or like maybe a year and a half. And they switched to these off of that, and this was just these jerseys are just so cool.
I like that. I like that a lot. I was thinking about drafting it over it just so I could like fight you. I was like,
You're
I know it is. I'm making moves right now. I really like these Arizona Coyotes jerseys. I thought they were like I've always
yeah.
liked the logo on that a lot. And then the other one I was looking for when I was doing research, I thought these were unreally clean. The Hartford Whalers. I thought those were like so tough from
Oh yeah, dude.
1979 to 1990. That
Yeah,
green, ooh. I
yeah,
was like, in the logo, I thought everything with that jersey's like insane whale tail on there. I'm like, bro,
yeah.
come on.
And the fact that they meant like the pants like also match, like bro, you went all green. You went green onesie. Like it's bold, but it looks good.
There's a San Jose jersey that they're doing that's like all teal. I also really like that as well.
Yeah,
I think it gives me like, yeah, I like the vibes of that.
yeah. This was my honorable mention. This is the Dallas Stars jersey. I think this looks really sick. It's got kind of like the star print kind of going around it to separate the
I
green
like that.
black. Yeah, the gold really pops.
Oh,
Um,
and honorable mention, shout out the Kraken. All the
dude,
Kraken alternates I really like. That they
there
did last year for the winter warm up, I want to say.
I couldn't pick a Kraken jersey that I liked most of all. Like when I
Yeah.
went through their stuff, I was like, all of their jerseys just look pretty good. Like I'm not disappointed in any jersey here. These all look solid, but I don't know that they're my top, 5, 6 jerseys kind of thing. So
They did a really cool one that I really liked. It was kind of with like the red logo, and it paid homage to our old team.
oh yeah, I saw those. I saw those.
I
Yeah,
think these by far are my favorite because it just like paying homage to the old team, and then having I think it was this one actually, or like kind of that style.
yeah. There's some really cool all star jerseys too that I looked into because I thought that would be kind of a sneaky avenue.
Yeah,
Um,
I saw those. I saw those.
some of them were really nice. I couldn't lock in one that I liked most of all. So I'll be right back at the UPS guys here.
Yep, no problem.
That's funny. Yeah. So little peek behind the curtain, so to speak. I'm at the store right now, doing the podcast at my desk, and it looks like Brian just had his Climo discs delivered
Hey,
to the. So nice. I'm sure he will be very excited to check those out when he gets back.
the champ. He might love this thing, the Skyway.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He'll probably throw the putters for a couple of days and then go back to his rainmakers because he's big on that. But yeah, I can see
You
him
know,
throwing.
it's not my disc if I don't aggressively exo it.
Mm, so aggressive.
I just don't want anyone to steal it. And if you steal it, just know you're getting an ugly backside of a disc.
Yeah. All right. You want to round us out, bud?
Yes, sir. Fun episode 43. Got a little Hall of Fame class of 2020, Troy Polamalu. I've never really been aware of what is said about me. Whether it's positive or negative, I ignore it. I've always had the mindset no one can challenge me better than myself. Aim high, shoot low. We'll see you next week. Peace!